Hey guys, it's Chad. I hope everyone's having a wonderful time. And as you can tell by the title, today we're going to be going over food dehydrators and why I think food dehydrators are like essential for 2025 with everything we got going on. Y'all know we live in an era of rising food costs and sustainability is the main focus. So I feel like food dehydrators have become extremely relevant in 2025 compared to other years because now more individuals are feeling more of the pinch of food prices and food not being there when you need it. So this is a great time to do a video, I felt, on a food dehydrator and what makes it perfect and a great investment, especially for now in 2025. I've had my food dehydrator for about 4 years now, and I love this thing, and I've made so many different things and learned so much and had so many situations where I was so appreciative that I bought this because I had food on hand when I really needed it. So we're gonna go ahead and go over that and show you the ins and outs to what a food dehydrator is, what it does, and what you can expect to have and make with this thing. All right, y'all, so here we have an assortment of just a few different things that I've used my dehydrator for. And with everything continuing to rise in the grocery store and prices fluctuating, and like I said, things not being available, these dehydrators are crucial for someone that's budget conscious or just, don't have a whole lot of money to always buy a lot of stuff. So with these food dehydrators, it allows you to, if you find stuff on sale, you can buy it in bulk and, kind of stock up. And, a lot of times when you don't have a dehydrator, if you buy things in bulk, you're like, okay, what about it spoiling? Or where do I put all this stuff? Because bulk stuff takes a lot of space. That's why it's bulky. So right here, I have an assortment of a few different things that didn't come packaged like this, of course, but now they're extremely lightweight. They're much easier to pack and store, especially if you have smaller spaces like apartments, like I talked about on one of my other videos. But so we'll go ahead and get into what we have right here on the table. So up here, we have some vegetables. These are some dried mushrooms. So these are mushrooms that I put in dehydrator. You see how thin that is. So, when you go to the store, you get those little containers. I don't know, I can't remember the exact ounces, but it's about 6 by 4 inches. And they come full of mushrooms. Those mushrooms have tons of water in them. So one of the uses for the dehydrator, or the main use for the dehydrator, is to extract that water, extract the moisture out of whatever you're dehydrating and take it down to a dry form. So once you take water out of objects, it shrinks substantially. Like you took the water out of our bodies, we'd look crazy. So same thing with these fruits and vegetables and whatever you're dehydrating. It'll take the moisture out of it. So this is just some mushrooms. This is a good amount of mushrooms right here. This is more than just one of those containers. This is probably like 3 of those little small containers. But look how much space this is, guys. And this is extremely light. This isn't even nowhere near 1 pound. So we got some mushrooms right there. Next, I have some dehydrated apples. Now, as you can see, I did these apples in 2022, right? So this is some apples that I got. They were on sale, and I sliced these down real thin. I think I use a spiralizer for this. It's something you just put your fruit on. It holds it, and you can just turn it, and the blade cuts it and makes it into a spiral really thin. So back when I had my spiralizer, I used it for these. That way I can dehydrate them faster, and they can just come out a whole lot more neat. So these are some dried apples from 2022. Extremely light as well. Next to it, we have some corn. I didn't put the year on here, which I should have did. But I want to say this is from like 2022 as well, because I was doing this stuff at the same time. So this is some sweet corn that's been dehydrated. And this, as you can see, it looks like a lot of corn right here. So just imagine what this would look like rehydrated. This is a ton of corn. This is probably like 3 to 4 cans of corn. But again, cans are heavy and they take up space. But look at this brick. It's just a single flat brick of sweet corn. And you can put this anywhere. You could take this with you easily. Who wants to, like, if you had to carry some corn just for emergency, like you had to grab some stuff real quick, you want to carry 3 or 4 cans of corn, or would you want to carry something like this, right? And all you got to do is rehydrate it. And it's back to that same volume of 3 to 4 cans of corn. All right, right here in these Mylar bags, any bags that y'all see like this, the silver ones, these are called Mylar bags. And these clear ones are just vacuum seal bags. I'm gonna do a completely different video on how to get your stuff packaged, how to label your stuff, and also, as you can see, what to do with your oxygen absorbers, right? But back to these right here. These are the Mylar bags, and as you can see, it says 1.5 pounds ground seasoned chicken, January 4th. I'm gonna go ahead and add the year to this. I know when I did this, this was January 4th of 2024. So this is over a year ago now. And recently, me and my wife opened up one of these packages. Actually, yesterday we opened up one of these packages, and we wanted to see what it smelled like after a year, see if it had any weird fragrances or anything like that, see if we saw any mold inside there, and make sure it's still stable to eat. So what I did was, since we didn't know what we were going to do for dinner, and I've been wanting to open one of these up and see what it looks like since it's been a year, I took one out, threw it in a bowl, smelt it and everything, let her smell it. It smelled perfectly fine. So we added warm water and we rehydrated this. So we let it sit in a bowl of warm water for a couple hours and just add a little bit more flavor. I had some chicken bouillon powder, and what I did is I just mixed it in the warm water, stirred it up with this chicken in there, put a lid over it, and just left it. Now I went ahead and about my day, we did what we did, came back, it was rehydrated. We used it to cook a dish. She made like a Thai dish with it, and it tastes perfectly fine and it tastes great. This is the next day. Like I said, we did this yesterday. I woke up, I don't have any stomach problems, I don't have any weird nauseous feelings, I don't have anything like that, because this stuff was dry as a bone when I took it out. How I put it in there, it was just like that. And inside these as well, is just like this guy and all the rest of these, it's going to have the oxygen absorbers in there. So the dehydrator is already going to take a ton of moisture out, but with, you know, you want some added measures of safety. So you add that oxygen absorber in there to take out whatever other moisture may be in there, and it can regulate that. And especially with these Mylar bags, these are thick. I can't remember the meal, and the meal is MIL, and that's how you measure the thickness of these products. But I don't know how many mils this is. I'll try to see if I can figure that out for y'all. But regardless, I'll have these items in my description box below if you're interested in any of this stuff. So this, we got chicken, we got vegetables, and we even got fruit. And you can do so much with this. You can grind this down to a paste and make applesauce with this. There's so many different things. So with the dehydrator, you can create your own dried fruits, vegetables. You can even do herbs. And that way you can stay away from the price of the store. You know, you buy something in a bottle, especially if you want like a good organic dry herb, it's going to cost you because you're paying for that bottle. You're paying for them to do the dehydrating process. And of course, inflation on top of that. So this is going to cut all those prices down. This is also going to extend the life of your food so it doesn't spoil before you eat it. Because like I was talking about before, if you do buy stuff in bulk, you don't want to buy it in bulk and be like, yeah, I got all this stuff. Okay, where do I put it? This is it going to spoil. I got to eat it fast. With this, like this chicken right here, this was from Kroger, and I got a good amount of these right here, and I bought them all and did them all around the same time, because at my local Kroger at the time, I was just doing my regular shopping, and I went there, and you know those 1 pound containers of like ground chicken, they make them in ground beef, ground turkey, all those. But this is a 1 pound container, little plastic thing with the seal at the top. It was the 1 pound containers. They had a ton of them. And I'm like, wow, these aren't in the usual spot that they're in, and there's a ton of them. And the killing part about it is they're all marked down. These were 1 pound ground chicken, and they were like $2.80. So I was like, okay, what's the deal? You know, what's wrong with the chicken? Is expiration date like tomorrow? Are we having like, I don't know what's going on. You know, you don't usually see chicken that low. So I pulled one of the guys to the side that I usually talk to. And another tip, talk to your people at your stores. If you see the same people all the time, go and greet them, go talk to them, even learn their name. Because I've had people help me and my mom out tons of times and mark stuff down for us. But that's not the reason why. You want to do it just because it's common courtesy. But I asked one of the guys, and he was like, yeah, man, we got a truck that delivered a lot of chicken, and we weren't supposed to get all of it. It was supposed to go to another store, but since it was already here, they told us to keep it, and they marked it down extremely low. So I was like, all right, that's all I needed to know. I said, appreciate it. I went and grabbed the shopping cart because I had my little tote bag with me because I was just grabbing a few things. Went back, grabbed like 15 of these 1 pound containers and started seasoning with salt and pepper. That's it. And maybe a little garlic powder. and dehydrated all of them. So I knew this would be a great thing to have. So now we have tons of pounds of ground chicken that's storing. It doesn't have to be in the refrigerator. It doesn't have to be in the freezer. So that's another good thing, another good use for your dehydrator. You can come up on situations where if you didn't have a dehydrator, if I didn't have my dehydrator and I was in that same situation, I wouldn't have been able to do all this. I would have just been like, man, I could just eat this chicken for now until it expires, because the expiration date was getting kind of close as well. That's another reason why it was so cheap, because they wanted to at least make some money back off of it. But if I hadn't had my dehydrator, I wouldn't have been able to get all this, and I wouldn't have it all right now to show y'all. So that is another thing. If you're prepared for a situation when a situation arises that you can take advantage of, you can take advantage of it, and you can be on top of it and win. So dehydrators are great. All right, another reason why I love the dehydrator is for health advantages. Sometimes we forget to think about that, but all these foods, well, most of them, especially if you're getting them at a cheaper price, they come with tons of preservatives and all that type of stuff, and they sit on shelves for a while. With the dehydrator, you can get fresh fruits. Like right here, it says fruits and nuts. So this is some apples, some chopped apples. There's some raisins and some peanuts. And this was fresh fruit. But, you know, I did this like 2022 once again. And do you think I'd have some fresh fruit from 2022 if it wasn't dehydrated? So with the dehydrator, you can dehydrate those fresh fruits, and you can preserve the freshness by drying them out and putting them in this vacuum sealed bag, because there's no company doing this for you. So they're not adding the extra preservatives and all those extra sweeteners. This is just a natural sweeteners that came from the fruits. So there's no extra sugars in there. You know, sugars lead to so many different problems, and we already are starting to figure out and learn how the government has done so much to our food and added so many unnecessary sugars, food colorings, all these different things. So in an era where we're all beginning to wake up and realize how bad we've been basically poisoned by all these companies and everything, it's good to be able to have some things that you can take care of yourself and put your health in your own hands and do whatever little things to help yourself out. So right here next to the fruits and nuts, I got what I call Santa Fe mixed vegetables. This is corn. This is bell pepper, black beans. There's another type of bean in here. This is like a Santa Fe mix that you'll typically find at your grocery store. I just made it myself. Right here, see, we got some trail mix. This is, you know, typical trail mix: peanuts, raisins, some M&Ms. I know I said something about the food coloring, but hey, you can't always win all the time, but we try to do what we can. So this is a nice little trail mix. Right here, I found some walnuts. So this is a ton of walnuts that I got on sale. I went ahead and just threw in the vacuum sealer and sealed those up. And right here, I got some dehydrated veggies. This is May 10th. I want to say this is like 2023. This reminded me of my beginning of this video that I need to always put my dates, the year on my stuff. But this is some mixed veggies. So this right here is an entire package of frozen mixed veggies that have been dehydrated down to just this small amount. And again, you can see how thin that is. So once again, the dehydrator, saving space, retaining nutritional value, and saving money. Another topic I want to talk about is emergency preparedness, because that's a big part of my life, and it's part of the reason why I made this channel, is to help people prepare, because as we all can see, no one's blind. Even if you don't pay attention to the news or try to look up what's going on in the world, you can't escape the fact that you're constantly hearing about natural disasters, fires, earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, everything, food shortages, transportation issues with food, cargo ships. There's so much stuff going on right now, and it's not the most comfortable feeling if you really just think about it. Like, all the food that we get, we have to go to the grocery store and go get it. But what if the food stops getting to the grocery store because of transportation or logistics situations? So you guys got to really just think about like how quick you can run out of food, especially if you're not prepared. So another good reason for the dehydrator is for emergency preparedness, because with all the supply chain disruptions, it's really highlighted the importance of your food security. You know, we secure our homes with locks, we secure ourselves with self-defense items. But what about food security? How many people really think about that? Because the average household, they say, doesn't even have enough food to last them throughout the week. So, I mean, if something goes on, how many people are going to be out of luck, you know? So with the dehydrator, you can create a lot of stable long-term food solutions. You can also maintain a variety of nutritious foods that don't require refrigeration. That's the biggest thing. If a natural disaster or something happens and electricity's out, what are you going to do with that chicken and that steak that you got in the refrigerator? You got to cook it ASAP. And if you don't have a means to cook without electricity, what are you going to do then? Does it go to waste? But you don't have to have it go to waste with a food dehydrator. Something else with the emergency preparedness and a food dehydrator, you can learn self-sufficiency skills. You can learn how to do these type of things where you don't have to rely as much on the grid being up, because the grid is weakening at a dramatic pace every single day, as we can see. And also you can have food ready to eat, you know, with your power outages. So I'm going to show you what I got right here. So these are just some glass mason jars. And inside this one, let's see, our date is 9/5/2024. So I did these not too long ago. And I just got into jarring foods as well. I didn't do the boiling method on this one. I did another method where I have this, I have a device that you put on top of this. Once you put your food in here, I have a device that you put on top and it sucks all the air out and seals the lid, and then you just slide this ring and screw it on down. But that's another story. And if you want me to show y'all how to do that, I will as well. But so right here inside this, I have some ground beef, I have corn, I have bell peppers, I have beans. So just think about that. We got meat, we have beans, we have bell peppers, we have corn, and this is pre-seasoned, and it has cilantro in it as well. So this is a complete meal inside a jar, and this is dehydrated. So this is let's see, I can see it. So this is 300 milliliter jar. I got this thing filled to the top. And once again, something we have to remember is once you rehydrate this stuff, it goes up like 2 times in size, 2 to 3 times in size. So this right here, this is already a good amount, but this going up in 2 to 3 times the size, this is enough to feed 3 people just in this one little jar. And this is a complete meal. Now, if you got like some rice that you can cook, you add that rice with this, you're done. Or you could just have this by itself, because like I said, this is seasoned. It has cilantro on it. It has ground beef, or ground chicken, I'm sorry, bell peppers, beans. This is like a taco mix, basically, what I made. So that's great. And I got a couple of them, and they're all filled to the top, and I just made a good amount, because once I get going, I just make a lot. And that's called batch cooking, which is the same thing with dehydrating as a person that just meal preps. You take care of all of it. It takes a decent amount of time and time investment at the beginning, but you're cooking a lot at once. That way you could just cruise through the rest. You cook your food early in the week on a Sunday, you got food for the rest of the week. You don't have to worry about making anything. It's the same way with dehydrating. Go ahead, and if you're going to go ahead and commit to it, do a lot at once. Do a nice batch order of stuff. That way you can have it all done. Next for that, this is just a plain seasoned ground beef. And as you can see, that's filled to the top. And just like what we talked about with the chicken, this is gonna get 2 to 3 times in size. And this is enough ground beef. This is probably a pound of ground beef. But right now it doesn't weigh anything near a pound. But rehydrated, that's a whole pound of ground beef inside one little jar, shelf stable, and it's not going anywhere. I got a I have an oxygen absorber on the inside too. It's just a little harder to see because it's dead in the center, and I made it that way so it can be centered properly. But this doesn't have to be refrigerated, frozen, or anything, and this is going to last you a long time. All right, so Shad, you've told us about dehydrators. You showed us what we can do with them. Where do we get them? How do I pick out a dehydrator? So some essential consideration for 2025 when you're getting your dehydrator is choose something that's energy efficient. A model that has multiple temperature settings and timers. So right here, if you look, you can change the time, or that you can change the temperature. You'll just go up or down, and you can change the time on how long. This is in hours right here, obviously. How many hours you want to do it. And then once you do it, you just press start and it starts. And these are moving because there's a fan a fan all the way in the back, and it has a heating element. So the heating element heats up in the back, and the fan pushes the hot air through and slowly cooks the food, but doesn't overcook it. It just keeps it at a temperature where it takes all the moisture out. So that's basically how the dehydrator works. Something else you want to consider when you're getting your dehydrator is look for units like this that have the stainless steel trays, because you don't want to be cooking and heating up food on plastic, because we know microplastics and all that type of stuff is very prevalent right now. That's a hot topic, is microplastics. So get you something that's stainless steel metal, and also get it where it's stainless steel metal on the inside as well, because you want that lining to be safe. Something I do also is I put parchment paper on my trays, because sometimes you got little bits and pieces that can fall through these holes. So I just put this and put this parchment paper on, poke a couple holes through it, and just keep it groovy. Something else you want to do is consider the size that you may need for your family. You have like a huge family, you may need a bigger unit, or you may need 2 of these units, just depending on your application. So consider your size. And when you're starting off, there's tons of videos that you can watch where you can try to figure out simple little projects just to get you acclimated with using it, around how long it's going to take for what, and all that type of stuff. But just like this unit right here, which is the Kasori, this came with a instruction booklet that tells you how to make so many different type of things. So it comes with so much. It comes with, of course, all these trays. It comes with this little tray here at the bottom. I use this at the bottom to collect whatever little debris may fall down. But what the real use for this is, you see how the edges are raised? This is to make fruit leather. And fruit leather is something like, basically like a fruit roll-up, but a healthy version. You just puree your fruit, you pour the liquid into the tray, it settles, you dehydrate it, and you can slice it and roll it just like a fruit roll-up. So that's another fun little thing, a nice quick snack you can make. So that's why I love this one, because it comes with everything. It comes with a book on how to make stuff from fruit to jerky to everything. It has tons of different temperature and time settings, and it's not loud, guys. I've left this on overnight because a lot of stuff takes hours to dehydrate, right? So if you have an energy efficient version, because it's going to be on for hours, you have an energy efficient version, and you have one that's quiet, you can just set this and literally forget it. And while you're sleeping, it can be doing its thing. You wake up in the morning, your food is done and dehydrated. You also don't have to worry about it overcooking, because again, you're setting the time and you're setting the temperature. So it's going to stay there and just do its thing, and it's not loud at all. So I would definitely recommend the Kasori. I'll have a link for this exact same one in my description box below. And I want y'all to tell me what you're making. Come to the comments and let me know what you've made and how you like it and how everything's going so far. Because I know I was excited when I first started doing this, and I want to show everybody and give people gifts of stuff that I dehydrated. I made salmon jerky. So this is also a fun little hobby too. So if you can have fun while saving money and stocking up on your food, especially right now in 2025 with all the uncertainties and so much going on and just the world in a frenzy right now, that's a win-win situation. Something else that I mentioned is has these little feet right here. So it's raised. So it's not just a unit that's creating heat that's just sitting flat on your countertops. So that's another good thing, because not all these guys are raised. So check out the Kasori. Check out my description box for a link for the Kasori and whatever else I had in this video. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks and have a great day.